With Sword and Shield finally out, it's time to talk about the most important Pokemon in the games, the ones that you can eat. Hey, this is Galar, and today we continue the semi-annual tradition of making a Pokemon menu. There are some Pokemon we've looked at in previous years that no longer contain a reference to being eaten in the Galar Pokedex. But if you're curious, the old videos are still up, so today let's go ahead and talk about some of the new Pokemon. First of all is the obvious Pokedex. Now what's interesting about Pokedex is that its in-game Pokedex entry is a bit bland. But as we know from Halloween, the Pokemon website has these slimy details. It states,
Poltergeist's body is made from black tea and is said to have a distinct aroma and flavor. It will only allow a trainer it trusts to sample its tea. However, drinking too much can lead to indigestion or an upset stomach, so be careful.
Yes, you can actually consume Poltergeist. Drinking too much can have some negative effects, but if you take 1 or 2 sips of your own Pokemon, you'll be fine, and so will said Pokemon. You just know this sicko gets some kind of pleasure out of getting drunk. Drinked? Point is, I bet this dude doesn't even feel like tea when you drink him. It's probably just that Nickelodeon slime with a black tea flavor. And what's even worse, this thing can duplicate itself and just infest your entire hotel or home or whatever, like we've discussed earlier this year. Next, let's take a look at Applin. Now this Pokemon is a little worm that lives inside an apple, and has different evolutions based on the type of apple you give it, tart apple or sweet apple. The tart apple will give you a flapple, which you cannot eat. In fact, it just spits straight acid. It's not until it Gigantamaxes that it starts sounding a little sweeter.
Under the influence of Gigantamax energy, it produces much more sweet nectar, and its shape changed to resemble a giant apple.
I mean, that's fine, and a little overwhelming, but not every Flapple has the ability to Gigantamax, so you might be better off sticking with the other Pokemon. And that's where we get to this fat frick right here. When you give Applin the sweet apple, it evolves into Appleton, which is really edible and really fat. I can't get over this fat dragon. Its Pokedex entry states,
its body is covered in sweet nectar, and the skin on its back is especially yummy. Children used to have it as a snack.
Now for a while there was a little confusion on whether people snack on the nectar Appleton produces or on the actual skin off its back. One way you'd just be licking this thing's back, which honestly isn't too weird when it comes to the Pokemon universe, but the other way you'd be stripping pieces of skin right off this fat old dragon. I bet it feels just like apple pie crust. And if that's the case, well then why the heck did I buy Sword version and not Shield version when we got this thing running around? And I mean, if there are a bunch of fat Appleton all over the Galar region, I bet this is exactly why people hunt down dragons to slay them, to eat the skin off their back that's obviously apple pie crust. Although if its back is sweet, just imagine what like its actual meat would taste like. Is that weird? Milcery is a weird little Pokemon. The Pokedex says,
this Pokemon was born from sweet-smelling particles in the air. Its body is made of cream.
So its body is actually made out of cream, which is kind of weird, but it's confirmed you can just straight up consume Milcery. But why do that when you can give it a topping and literally whip the cream into an evolution? And that's where Alcremie comes into play, which actually has different Pokedex entries based on whether it's flavored vanilla or not. They read as follows.
When Alcremie is content, the cream it secretes from its hands becomes sweeter and richer. The moment it evolved, it took on a sweet and tart flavor. This is because of the way its cells spontaneously shifted during evolution.
Kind of a similar story to most of the other Pokemon in Galar. It's not made of food, but it produces an edible substance, despite looking like it'd dissolve under the pressure between my tongue and the roof of my mouth. You see, Alcremie is a great Pokemon because it produces the whipped cream that will go with the bananas from Tropius and the milk made from Miltank ice cream from 2 years ago. But again, Galar's Pokedex is kinda neutered compared to Alola's. And really that does seem to be the case, in that the Pokedex is straying away from Pokemon actually being eaten, and more so these Pokemon that produce some sort of cream or nectar or something. And just like I said, it's unlike Alola, where we got confirmation of Slowpoke and Crabrawler and so many other Pokemon being regularly eaten. I mean, go on and enjoy your tea in Galar. But there is also the option to cook curry in Pokemon Sword and Shield that you can eat alongside your Pokemon. While there are some meat products like the burgers and the sausage and these canned foods which very likely contain some meat, they don't have any clear way to identify which Pokemon they are, and even if they're actual meat or some sort of impossible meat substitutes. There are ingredients like Moo Moo cheese and fresh cream which did come from Pokemon like we've discussed. However, there is one of the greatest ingredients that you can obtain to add to your curry, the smoked poke tails, which did, in fact, come from Slowpoke. according to the description of the item. Now, despite Slowpoke not appearing in the Galar region, you can still dine on imported Slowpoke tails, marking the second time you can do this in a Pokemon game. But overall, that's sort of the extent of the Pokemon that you can eat in the Galar region. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Which of these Pokemon do you want to eat, or eat something that it produces? Overall, I'm gonna stick with my Slowpoke tail that we discussed in previous years. And again, if you want to check out some of those older videos, I'll try to remember to link them in the description and this and that. All you gotta do is search Gator-X Pokemon you can eat. Yeah, I'm known for that now. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out and will make you a member of the Slowpoke tail eating squad. Anyway, this has been Gator-X. Have a nice day.